So I've been hearing about this movie on Netflix entitled 365 Days, which is supposed to make 50 Shades of Grey look like Casablanca. You know, I've seen the reviews. There wasn't many reviewers that reviewed it, and it's got a 0%. And there's a decent amount of user reviews, and it's got a low percentage. But I have to ask, I know some channels I follow, like Double Toasted and Brad's channel, have really ripped into it. But is it really that bad? I mean, really, is it really that bad?
365 days later.
Does anybody have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey? I need a palate cleanser. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the latest installment of Talkin Movies. I'm your host. You know I'm Gino Reynolds, the real Gino. Okay. I heard this movie was bad. But I heard it was bad like 50 Shades bad. No, 50 Shades of Grey is Shakespeare, a Shakespeare romance play compared to whatever this was supposed to be. I'm probably going to spoil this movie because I don't care. But I lost 2 hours of my life and I will never get them back. All right. I'll do my best to explain this movie. So here we go. 365 days. And I don't even know why it was called that. And I'll talk about that in a bit. What you have is a character named Massimo, who's the son of a mafia family, the head of a mafia family, and they're talking at the beach, and the dad's saying, "You need to get more serious, son. You're gonna have to take over someday." And he should have just winked at the camera because seconds later he gets shot. And then also, I guess the bullet goes through him and hits Massimo too. But before all that, Massimo's scoping a hot chick on the beach, and he's instantly in love. And comes to find out, it's a even worse Christian Grey kind of love, because we jump ahead. I believe it was like 5 years or something like that. And Massimo sees this girl at the airport, and instead of doing what a normal guy might do, and if he's got a thing for a girl, I mean, he saw this girl and thought she was like an angel or whatever, and he's been trying to find her for this whole time, right? Because he says something along the lines of, "Whenever I was there and I had been shot, I saw your face," and all this stupid romance movie crap. So instead of, doing what you do and say, "Hey, I think you are a lovely woman and I might like to take you out to dinner." Oh no, see, Massimo is the kind of guy that always gets what he wants and doesn't take no for an answer, which is a problem when it comes to romance movies. So instead, oh, and by the way, Laura, this girl, she has a boyfriend. It's kind of confusing at first if it's a husband or boyfriend. From what I understand, it's a boyfriend. And she is trying to get him to get intimate, and he doesn't want to be intimate. And you find out later he was cheating, because of course he is. But see, Massimo, he says No, I'm not going to ask this girl out. No, 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 no. I'm going to kidnap her. And I'm going to hold her captive for 365 days, even though the movie doesn't cover 365 days. I still don't know why that whole thing was a part of it. These are based on books, I guess, and I say books, so that tells you as well as this one's doing, at least on Netflix. I mean, as you saw, the Rotten Tomato scores, again, there wasn't a lot of critics that looked at it, but there's 600 some people looked at it and didn't give it a very good score. If Netflix sees the movie or the numbers up, they're going to make more, and there's like 2 more books, I think. Anyway, so he kidnaps her and is like, "You're gonna love me. I'm gonna give you a year to fall in love with me." And she tries to run away, and he grabs her and he throws her down. And I don't mean in like the playful romantic comedy, like, "Whoop, I'm gonna keep you." No, he like violently throws her down, and at times he chokes her, and at times he's very violent towards her. Even though, here's the kicker. He says, "I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm not going to put my hands on you," even though he puts his hands on her all the time. I think he meant like in a sexual way, but then he does that too. They never do any sex acts until the love story part. God, this movie's stupid. Okay. So yeah, that's the whole plot. He kidnaps her and he like tries to make her jealous at times, and she almost isn't any better because yes, while she's in a terrible situation, she eggs him on and emasculates him anytime she can, which of course makes him get violent, and apparently that equals love. So anyway, yeah, there's times where, because like this guy, there's a scene before he gets with her. He's on a plane with his cronies, and he gets in the mood. So what does he do? He takes the flight attendant, he closes the very thin curtain that is, in the plane, and he doesn't sweet talk her. He doesn't romance her. Oh, no, no, no. He shoves her down on her knees, and forces, And while this isn't nymphomaniac style or Brown Bunny style, like pretty much porn in a movie, it's close. They almost show a lot of things. You see little bits and pieces of things here and there, but it's not as graphic. But it's still the actions are very graphic. But yeah, he forces her to do that to him, and she doesn't seem too happy about it. She's even got tears rolling down her eyes. So yeah, he's just sexually assaulting this woman on the plane. But here's the really stupid part. When he is done, she looks up at him, wipes her mouth, and smiles at him, like, as if to say, "I'm glad you did this to me. I deserve this." Okay. Your hero, ladies and gentlemen. So then, that's the basic setup, is he kidnaps this girl, and you're going to fall in love with me. And he takes her around the world and all this stuff. And at times she emasculates him. And at times he puts his hands on her, threatens her. They're on a plane. And he ties her up. "I'm never going to put my hands on you yet." He grabs her the way our president said he liked to grab women. And they end up at this nightclub. And there's an incident there where she's dancing with another guy. Of course, he gets jealous. There's just all this stuff where she's like almost trying to emasculate him, and over time, somehow, she falls in love with him. I still don't get it. Because the whole time he's just like, I want you to teach me to be... in my head, all I could hear him saying was, you make me want to be a better man, right? And just over time, she begins to fall for him. Somehow, Stockholm Syndrome, I guess. And it doesn't come out until later in the movie that she was only with him like 2 months. So that's where the 365-day thing is stupid. And now you could maybe add another couple weeks or something after that. Maybe even another month. But it sure as heck wasn't 365 days. But they end up on a boat. And it's them two and then like one or two of his cronies. I can't remember. I know I think there was the main crony and then like the crony that followed the girl around, right? Well, they end up both downstairs after she gets mad at him and they're fighting on the boat and she falls off the side of the boat. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh no. And he has to jump in and save her, right? So he saves her. And when she recovers, he's just like, I couldn't lose you. I couldn't lose you. And then they end up having sex. And when I say they end up having sex, they end up having some of the most ridiculous movie sex I have ever seen in my life. Okay, I can understand like a movie where if you're doing that, you can end up in different parts of a house or something like that, right? Oh no. They end up all over this boat. Now, remember I said there was 2 other people on the boat. Where did they go? Because these 2 are naked the whole time, doing their business all over the boat. The stern, the bow. He was doing her on the poop deck. Did he go up there? Did they walk up there naked and go, hey, yeah, we want to do it here now. Will you guys go underneath there? Yeah, sorry, it's a little gross down there because we were doing it all over there too. But anyway, they're in love now. But then it gets to this point where, see, the mafia, his mafia family is having trouble with another mafia family, and that's like this side story where it ends up that they want to hurt him, so he sends Laura away to hide, basically. And she goes, and she's not real happy with him for sending her away. He's like, I'll join you. And she goes and meets her friend and tells her friend all about it. Then they go have a spa day. She changes her hair in the middle of nowhere and turns into a blonde. And he eventually shows back up after her ex tries to confront her and follows her home, and he's in the home, and I'll explain that one in a second too. And it comes to find out apparently maybe the boyfriend had been drugged. That being said, the pictures that she was shown look like he was in control of what was in the pictures. Not like he was, had been, been drugged or anything, or had been roofied or anything. So they get back together, and he asked her to marry him, and in the middle of the night slipped a ring on her finger. It was kind of creepy. And granted, the one scene I explained on the boat, that's not the only scene. We have other scenes of them having a good time as well. I mean, of course, there's One that happened in the most romantic place ever, in the bathroom. But anyway, she says yes to marriage. At another wedding, he finally meets... at first, I thought it was her wedding, and because I was kind of zoning out. And I have to admit, there are times that I hit the 10 seconds forward button a few times, because I'll explain montages in a minute. But I thought it was her wedding for a second. I'm like, wait, is he meeting her parents at her wedding? No, it was another person's wedding. And we only meet the parents once. He's like, what are your intentions for my daughter? And he's like, the worst kind. And that's the last time we see the parents. So then he has to go away on business and on business. And she's out with her chauffeur, bodyguard, whatever you want to call him. And one of the other cronies gets a tip that they're going to kill her. And Laura and Massimo are talking on the phone, so dude can't get through to either of them. Because, cell phones never show you that someone's trying to interrupt your call. You get busy signals on cell phones. Most of the time it at least tries their number, right? But she is driven into like an underpass, and the car doesn't come out the other side, and you see police show up. And you see Massimo fall to the ground, and I'm surprised he didn't yell out a big verbal no, right? But apparently there's 2 other books, and she's not dead. Sorry, I spoiled it. Don't care. Look, this movie is god-awful. I thought the 50 Shades movies were god-awful. No. They're masterpieces compared to this one. If you thought Christian Grey was a creep, wait till you meet Massimo. Just the story itself is stupid. The characters themselves are stupid. But this movie also has one of the most god-awful soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. And it's not just you play a song and then move on. There are times that they'll start a song, cut to a scene, continue the song, cut to a scene, continue the song. And then this is the whole movie. You get a little story, song. Little story, song. So yeah, I found myself fast forwarding a little bit. Because I was ready to be done with this movie in a half hour. This movie was giving me a migraine. I still have a little bit of the headache I have from watching that movie. I got a couple chuckles out of this movie, but it's definitely not because the movie was trying to be funny. The sex scenes are ridiculous. You thought that the 50 Shades ones were kind of dumb and ridiculous. Oh, these are just stupid. They're not... They do not have the desired effect. Just because Massimo is a good-looking dude doesn't make all the stuff he did before want to see you letting him get romantic with this girl at all. It's just stupid. And then one other little crazy thing is apparently Massimo is like a movie monster villain as well. Because there's like 3 times in this movie he like appears behind Laura. I think it's like he does it like twice, and then the apartment where he appears. You see the chair. They go to the shot of the boyfriend and Laura talking, and you go back and he's in the chair. And then he's just talking to him. And anytime the times he sneaks behind her, he's like, "Are you lost, baby girl?" And it's just creepy. So creepy. This movie is so stupid. So stupid. It's 2 hours, almost 2 hours of my life, minus what I fast forwarded through or 10-second forwarded through. I'll never get it back. Never. I mean, the acting is not very good. The characters do not deserve any type of happiness. I mean, I don't want to. You don't want to see bad things happen to Laura, but she's just not a good character anyway. They kind of show at the beginning like he's good at business and she's good at business, right? But even her character, I mean, you can tell she's eventually going to give in to him, and it's supposed to be romantic? God. I couldn't wait for this movie to end. It's on Netflix, and I know it's trending, and they're probably going to make the other ones. Because Massimo is a beautiful man, and Laura is a beautiful woman, and they deserved happiness. Oh, and by the way, she was pregnant when she may or may not have died. No! I mean, this movie, it's weird because when he finally gets somewhat romantic, if he would have just been that way at the first, maybe he could have won her over. But no, you had to kidnap her and abuse her and, touch her in ways you shouldn't be touching people without their permission. God, this movie was stupid. It's not even worth watching for a laugh. If you're going to watch anything about this, other than my review, watch Brad, the Cinema Snob's review of it. I checked it out after I watched the movie. And if you just want to get the story in a short burst with some jokes, watch his video, because it was him and Double Toasted that showed me about, informed me about this movie, because I didn't even know about it. Part of me wishes I never did. Part of me wishes I never watched it. Of course, if they bring out sequels, of course, the curiosity's going to be there. Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled Talkin Movies, but I have a bit of an update on what's now apparently going to be a series for 365 days. According to the film star Michelle Maroney, who is Massimo himself, we are getting a sequel, and I'm going to paraphrase here. He said, quote, "We're going to shoot the second part. We still don't know when, but for sure, we will make it." Thanks, Michelle. Thanks a lot. Now, back to the program. But man, is this movie stupid, and I can't imagine the story getting any better. I can imagine it getting worse, even though it was pretty bad this time around. Oh, I have complete faith that the story could get even worse. I can't recommend this one all, even for free. You'd be asking for your Netflix subscription fee back if you watch this movie. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about 365 days, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I am your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. See you later.